full disclosure this week, I didn't watch anything we had to watch.
Okay, I'll do all of the synopses.
Just do all of the stories, and I'll try and like pretend that I know what you're talking about, and try and make some like banter.
Okay, yeah, just kind of be like, yeah, of course, yes, of course. I've seen that episode, of course.
Of course, I know what that episode is. I've seen it as well.
I knew what that character would do at that time because I seen it.
Oh man, I was also surprised at that twist.
Anyway, this is the Protagonist seat. I'm Alex.
And I am Ian.
And talking about twists, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, we meet the boss.
Yeah, we do.
he has actually seen all the stuff.
Yes, I did watch everything this week.
And I'm going to say, I think our capo is Kaputs.
Yeah, I was really bummed, because I was like, Bucciarati, what are you doing? This is a big misunderstanding.
Because I know that we had that BS with Mista about, hey, he was shot in the head 3 times, but not really.
Yeah.
This is kind of hard to make up something for.
We see the fist go through his chest.
And it's not like, oh, he just made a zipper there. No, there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
He is coughing up blood. He is done.
Yeah, he is donezo.
And we just got his backstory before this too, meaning, okay.
Of course.
That's the end.
We learn...
It's a Caesar situation all over again.
Yeah. Ugh. Poor Caesar.
Being Italian's not fun.
Yeah, it turns out having an Italian name in an anime is not a good sign.
At least in JoJo.
At least in JoJo.
But yeah, so this episode, it's the final mission where all they have to do is they get the final orders from Boss from that disc that they got. They just have to bring Trish to this island in the middle of Venice, and only one person will take her to the tower, and there's an elevator in the tower on the island, and they just have to bring her to the top, and that's it.
Yep.
Then their mission's done.
Yay, mission over, big adventure over. Except, Giorno is like, I'll do it because I want to know who the boss is.
Yeah,
and then
Charity
Abacchio
and Bruno both know, like, hey, we got to figure out who the boss is. But yeah, Abacchio's like, hey, you little shit.
Yeah,
you're new.
Abacchio gets super in his face because that's what Abacchio does. And he's like, the capo should go. Everyone knows the capo's got to go. So Giorno gives him, and I cannot air quotes harder, a lucky charm. Basically gives him one of the ladybug brooches from his shirt.
Which is actually, we can tell immediately, part of Golden Experience.
Yes. And it's basically a tracker. They're going to use it as a tracker to find the boss. So Bruno takes Trish into the elevator, and Trish is like, I'm scared because you guys abducted me, and people have been dying.
I also like the way
day.
He tries to make her feel better, where Bruno's talking to her, and he's like, yeah, you'll probably have to change your name, get plastic surgery, and like look like a completely different person. But you'll live somewhere nice and be happy.
Yeah, you'll live happy and comfortable somewhere else.
The boss has that kind of power.
He's a powerful man. You know, he can make these things happen.
And as they go up on the elevator, she holds his hand because she's a little nervous, and she immediately disappears, and he's just left holding her hand.
Yes, and this does not sit well with Mr. Bruno. He's like, holy shit, it was a trap. He was actually going to kill her the whole time.
Yeah.
And he basically zippers around.
Because he's pissed off because he realized the boss only wanted her back just so he could tie up all loose ends.
Yep.
Which, to be honest, I don't know why. If he didn't care about her in the first place, who cares if a bunch of gangsters kidnap her if she's never met you anyway?
I think it's because in Bruno's backstory, we find out that his dad saw some bad stuff. A deal went down. They shot him.
No, I'm talking about the boss. Why does the boss care?
Oh.
She doesn't know who he is, so she doesn't have information to give away.
That is a very good point. And now that she's in his hands, he can just like, hey, go this way, and I will ensure that you never have the opportunity to give away any information. I suspect that it was all a big misunderstanding and he actually wasn't going to, but because of the way his stand works, since she was holding hands with Bruno, like, I think, I'm going to theory craft for you right now. I think if Bruno had not been holding her hand, she probably would have been fine. And that would have been that, and everyone would have been hunky old dory all day. But since she was holding hands with Bruno, there's some weird caveat with King Crimson, where it just like right at that moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming he's a scumbag because he's a JoJo villain.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of gotta be.
I mean, I already know who he is just because this is an old part.
Yeah, it's weird watching a part that's like so far behind the manga because I don't read the manga.
You mean manga?
No.
Manga? Like,
No.
Is it a fruit?
The mango?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, this part came out in like the 2000s, so.
Oh god, this is super old.
I'm like, almost, it's weird. I'm like, am I spoiling stuff if I say it?
That is a good point.
I guess we haven't been spoiling anything, so I guess we just won't.
Yeah, we'll just kind of move on from that. They basically, Bruno chases down the boss, and then they get into a fight, and Bruno does manage to get the tracker onto the boss.
Yeah,
and later the boss punches a solid ass hole through Bruno's chest.
And it's a slow punch too.
Yeah.
Like you hear it go through his back at first, and then it protrudes out after.
Yeah. It's one of them brutal punches.
And I guess he explains his stand's power is he can sort of jump back in time. He erases time almost.
Yeah, he can like erase time to swap places with people or like swap people's locations.
I think the way it works, like in the actual explanation for his stand, is that he sort of like makes it so nothing exists for like 10 seconds where he's like the only thing in existence and he can move around and do what he wants. So for everyone else, they just kind of lose 10 seconds.
Huh.
So he's like the only thing in the world for just 10 seconds.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So our boy with the buttons on his head and the zippers on his jacket is most likely no longer. I'd say it's a solid 95%.
Yeah, I don't think Bruno's gonna make it.
It was a solid hit.
This isn't part 4 where majority of the cast is gonna make it. This is these guys are gangsters. They're fighting a mob boss.
Yeah.
I think he's done.
And that's when Giorno will have to step up, and everyone will be like, "What the fuck?"
And then more of them will probably have to die.
Yeah.
Gotta at least like get half the cast out.
I'm feeling. Well, Fugo is definitely got to go because he's OP. And probably Abakio because Abakio just really fucking doesn't like Giorno. It'll be either that thing where Abakio dies or Abakio, like, starts to respect him. Like, hey, my character had an arc.
Mista already had a fake out one.
Yeah.
Although, I guess Avdol did too, so.
That's true. Avdol's was some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching that one and being like,
why is he pretending when they first get there to be his own father?
Yeah, why not just be like,
hey guys, it's you guys.
Yeah, it's you guys. You already know that I'm here.
Besides Polnareff.
Literally everyone except Polnareff.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should move on to the rising of the Shield Hero.
Call it the rising of the fun hero, because every week's so fun.
Yeah, every week is genuinely a lot of fun. And I was right. Motoyasu did fuck things up by taking a weird old seed from a locked tomb in a dungeon.
And Narufumi does what he does best and cleans up Motoyasu's idiocy.
Yeah. In exchange for goods and services.
Yep, because he's the trade hero now.
He
does trading.
He is a better trader than he is a hero at this point. Because, man, I love him. But basically, the plants go all super crazy in this episode on some village, and they're like, please help us. All the plants are going super crazy.
And it boils down to he figures out that his potion enhance ability can make like the herbicide like
super herbicide.
Yeah, and he just fucks up the plant monster.
And by putting plant bits into his shield, he gets plant shield.
And he can make plant monsters. but
or make plant monsters harmless.
yeah, and so he made him harmless, and now he's like, all right, you guys have infinite fruit now.
Yeah.
That grows super quick.
He just makes the literally most busted. He has broken the food economy of this world in like 5 minutes. He's just
he broke the game.
Here's unlimited food forever.
And then they go to hot springs.
Yeah, then it's a hot springs episode.
Yeah, and Raftalia is getting jealous of Philo because she's getting all close to Narufumi.
And they got a battle. They do a hot springs battle for the master.
And they both decide that they want to go and get him something that they heard about is in the mountains. Both of them, it's like a different thing. Like hers is some gem that's up there, and Philo heard about some egg. And it's like, oh, we're both going to go get a thing and give it to Master and see who he likes more.
This does not go well.
Turns out this bull creature destroys everything, and they're both pissed. And
So
they
they-
decide to team up and just kill this thing.
Yeah, they kill the legendary silvered boar instead and bring it back. And they're like, ah, man, I hope he likes this
Turns
instead.
out it's worth a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and then they use that to buy a new jeweler's hammer and give that to him.
And he's happy about that because
Yeah.
he can do more economic stuff.
Hey, I can be a better trader with this.
Because
Thanks.
he's one of those people where it's like, I've given up on playing the game, and I'm just working on professions now.
Yeah, I just want to do things that put me in a better place.
He's one of those people where you see like, oh, hey, like they're in an MMO, and they're like, oh, they don't level up or anything, but they're just over there in the auction house just buying a shit ton of materials and crafting shit.
Yeah.
They're playing a whole different game.
Now Fumi's playing a whole different game.
And yeah, that's all that happens this week.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's always nice.
It's nice. I enjoy
Nice.
this show.
You know, it's not nice. Sister Kron in the
Sister-
Promised Neverland.
Fucking intrigue, my dude.
What was on the fucking notes?
I don't know.
What was on the notes?
I don't know what's on the notes. I don't know.
That's what I'm going to title this episode. What's on the notes?
I don't know. That's got to be in the description.
I don't know. Because we don't know.
We don't know.
Anyway, the last episode ended with Sister Kron being like, hey, I heard what you guys were talking about. And Norman, and this episode is like, hey, yeah, I'll take your olive branch. I'll see what you're offering.
And naturally, everyone else is suspicious. But, Norman is playing like 25D chess at this point. There's
Norman
so many...
is playing so much chess that with everybody.
He has so many chess games going on.
He's working with Ray. He's working with Sister Kron. He's I don't know if he's lying to Emma about getting everyone else or no. He's playing so many games.
What is Norman's game? Because holy shit. But basically Norman's like, yeah, I'll accept it. And Emma's responds with, well, how do we know you're not just gonna betray us?
And she's like, because you got Ray, and me and Ray are in a position where if he betrays me, I betray him, and vice versa.
Yeah, we both possess knowledge about each other that could easily fuck each other over, so we're in a Cold War state right now, and we're not gonna do anything. So come to my room later, and I'll give you all of the information you could possibly want.
Yeah, they find out from her that the adults have, where the kids just have trackers in them. The adults basically have these things surgically implanted into their chests, where if they try to run away from the farm, it almost sends an electric pulse to their heart and just kills them.
Yep, so Sister Kron literally cannot escape, but she wants to become a mom to make life easier for her, which I can understand the merit in that argument.
Yeah, and you find out that there are humans on the outside that are not like... So there's like, at some point, there's some humans that are living in demon society.
Yep, you just gotta escape and blend in with them. And I'm sure life like that is great, with no possible drawbacks.
And you find out, yeah, that after, if a girl reaches the age of 12 and she has above average scores, she'll get an offer, hey, be shipped out or work with us.
Yep. And
I think that's an easy option right there.
yeah, that's, hey, do you want to die or do you want to join our team? I will pick my literal one option.
Yeah.
Thank you for proposing this new life path to me, but I'm good. And later they go to her room and basically just do a bunch of
Yeah,
information
she
gathering.
basically tells him all that she knows and how she's never seen the outside, and that basically she has no idea since she can't escape, that if they escape, they basically have to figure it out for themselves when they get out there.
Yep. She also withholds the information about him.
And she said, I'll tell you next time.
Who is him? Ooh, mysterious.
Also, Ray gets a camera.
Yeah.
He starts taking some pictures.
Just out in the open, he's just like, hey, let me take pictures of everybody. Because that turns out to be the last piece of equipment he needs. Also, when you destroy the trackers, it sends a signal to the little stopwatch thingies that...
Oh, yeah. So Sister Kron finds out that they know where the tracking devices are because she asks them, or they ask her about it, and she tells them it's in their ear, and she notices, you didn't go to touch your ear, which is a natural reaction, meaning you already know it's there.
Yeah, Sister Kron is no pushover, which makes this character all the more scary, because now it's like, we have to kind of tentatively work with this person.
And she figures out that Ray must have something. So at the end of the episode, she goes searching through Ray's stuff, and Ray says, don't worry, I already got a plan. And she finds a note under Ray's bed.
Yes, and we don't see what's on it.
But we know she gets super excited about it. Like, she goes to her room and freaks out, and she's like, yes, this is going to take down Isabella.
And then there is a knock at the door. We are greeted with Isabella standing there holding a blade. Turns out it's just a letter opener.
And she hands it to her, and she's like, here, open this. It's from headquarters.
Yeah, and Isabella has a grin on her face, so something tells me that Isabella's problem is solved.
And Sister Kron opens it, and we don't see what that says either.
We don't see what that says either.
She just has a look of horror on her face, and Isabella's just like, that's too bad.
Oh, well, so sad. So next week, we're going to get some revelatons. I hope we find out what was on Ray's note.
Yeah.
Was that a trap he left for Sister Kron? Was the letter from headquarters also orchestrated by Ray?
What's going on?
What's going on? I don't know. I do, however, know exactly what's going on with Kaguya-sama.
Kaguya?
Kaguya-sama. Love is war.
Kaguya-sama. Love is a battlefield.
Bum, ba-dum, 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 bum.
And
I
yeah,
hope I got that right. I hope I got that song right.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't, because I didn't immediately catch on to that.
Maybe I didn't, but we'll find out.
Yeah, so the first part of this episode is that dude with... I guess that's going to be a running thing, as this couple comes to them for advice.
Yep, because they just keep on switching off.
Where this guy, the guy now, wants to hold his girlfriend's hand, so he goes to the president for love advice.
So he goes to the class president directly for relationship advice on how to hold his girlfriend's hand. And the president's solution?
Get a job.
You should get a job so you can rent a boat.
Yeah, he gets to the point where he basically is using the whole opportunity to recruit a new part-timer for the place he works. Where he's like, yeah, you should take her out on a cruise, like a little cruiser, and, then after you can hold her hand on there while watching, like, the sunset or something. And he's like...
But I don't have a boating license. What do I do then?
He's like, oh yeah, you can just get one real easy. It only costs this much.
Because apparently he has one. I guess the president is an experienced boater.
Yep, and he just keeps pushing him to get a job until Chica comes in.
Chica, love detective.
And she's immediately bored by this when she finds out he just wants to figure out how... He just wants to hold his girlfriend's hand, and she finds out, and she's like, oh, just do it.
Yeah, you can't just do that normally.
And they're like, wait, but he has sweaty palms. He has to pay for the surgery to fix them, so he needs a job.
So he needs a job.
And she's like, no, that's dumb.
Just do it. It's more rewarding if you power through these disadvantages and really work for it. And this spurs our young lover into being like, I'm just gonna do it.
And he goes off and he does it.
He does.
And it's a Shirogane's loss because now he can't... He needs to find a new part-timer.
Yeah. And Kaguya during this episode is like, he can't get a job. I orchestrated so many freaking summer activities to do with the president to get him to admit he loves me. I can't have a job messing this up. And luckily she doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
And the next one, the president is chatting with Ishigami.
It's about clubs.
Yep, because Ishigami apparently doesn't like youth.
He's an angsty emo boy.
Yeah, where he's like he's a sad he's a
sad boy.
He's like,
yeah.
All these guys on the sports teams have girlfriends. Cut the funding of the sports teams. And he's like, that's just like your own personal grudge. And he's like, yeah, so what if it is?
Is that wrong? That's like, not even a tyrant would charge a happiness tax, but I would always charge a happiness tax.
And then after he's saying, like, you know what, Ishigami, maybe you should just join a club. And he's like, how could I join a club and be part of the student council, though? And he's like, Chika and Kaguya do it. He's like, Chika's part of the tabletop gaming club where she just plays board games.
Yep.
And Kaguya is part of the Japanese archery club.
Because of course she is.
And Ishigami pokes fun at that, on how that should be easy for her since she has a small chest. She doesn't have to worry about that getting in the way of shooting. And as he's going on about this, she is standing right behind him, and the president's trying to warn him, like,
you gotta stop. You should slow your
put
roll.
the brakes on it, please. And then after he starts talking about how big Chika's chest is, and she is also standing right behind him. And then the president in his mind is like, for the love of God, just stop! Just please!
You're digging your own grave, my friend. You need to back off on this.
And then they're like, hey, Ishigami. And he turns around and realizes they're both right behind him.
Chika makes a fan out of crinkled up newspaper and some tape. And then she promptly begins to beat you over the head with it. Like, a lot. She beats him pretty savagely with this fan. And Kaguya threatens to murder him. As usual.
And then he tells the president he is going home to write his will.
I need to go home to write my will. And the president gives his age-old response, okay, but please don't die. And he has that scene that we've come to know and love so much, where he just walks right down the hallway.
Looking sad.
Because he's a sad boy. And then we get to our final arc.
Which is...
I actually can't remember.
Yeah, I don't... it was the Prez getting his harem or something. Oh, yeah, it was... Kaguya apparently has the maturity when it comes to humor as a middle schooler.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really immature, and the word wiener really sets her off, and Chika realizes this and torments her with it.
Yes, she just shouts it at her, like, just repeatedly, over and over again, and then the class president walks in. Oh, no.
And she tells her, don't say it, and she's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna say it.
It won't come out of my mouth.
And she does her best to make the president say it, like, hey, what's another word for a dash hound?
Or what's that funny little stumpy dog with the long body? And he starts to say it. He's like, I think it's a and then, or no, first he actually does say, oh, it's a dachshund. And then she's like, oh, well, what are the tube meats that come, the tube sausages?
And Kaguya keeps butting in with the, like, right answers so he doesn't say it.
Frankfurter. And this goes on until Chika is defeated, outwitted,
and she's
in
like,
an elaborate
I just want to
game.
get the president to say wiener.
And they both just go on, they just go at it at each other. Like, Dad, stop saying it. But I just wanted him to say I wanted wiener to come out of his mouth.
And then he's like, what?
You guys are so bizarre. And he flees the room in terror.
He's like, you guys are sick.
And
then Ishigami's listening outside the door, and all he hears is, it's like, come on, Kaguya, just take one more wiener.
I know.
She's like, no, stop it with the wieners.
I know this isn't the first time one of them's come out of your mouth. And he's like, oh. And we get a funny little scene afterwards where he goes up to Cheek and he's like, so do you have one? And it just ends right there. Man, I love this show so much. It's so good. So good. Whoever wrote it is a genui.
You know what else is good? Quintessential quintuplets.
Yeah, there's like 5 of them.
Yeah, there's 5 of them.
There's 5 of them.
6, because, he put on the thing to this episode.
Yeah, that was actually really funny.
So they study this episode. Well, he wakes up, and last time he was in Nino's bed, but he easily, effortlessly makes it look like that never happened.
Yep, by completely lying and once again alienating Itsuki. God damn it.
There's Itsuki and Ichika. Those are the 2 I's.
Literally just her name that I can't get. For what? Because I can get everyone else's name.
Her thing is food, so think Eat Suki.
That's a good idea.
That's her thing. She likes eating.
Yeah, that comes up all the time.
That's her character thing. Yosuba likes doing sports and running around and stuff.
And she's kind of dumb and happy-go-lucky.
And we call that Genki.
She's Genki.
And Nino is a bitch.
Yep, she is tsundere. Well, she's going to be. She's not yet.
Yeah, she's just soon. There's no dere yet.
She's only soon.
And yeah, so he's helping the rest of them study, but Itsuki's still on her own, and he realizes, hey, she needs my help.
So he goes back. And basically, earlier in the episode, they decided to play a prank on him where they had
Itsuki look like Miku.
Pretend to be Miku.
And he knew it wasn't Miku because Miku was in the room he was just in.
And also wasn't wearing those pajamas. An astute observation.
Yeah. And he basically goes back to help her, which I actually thought this was a nice scene where she's kind of really upset because she's stuck doing on her own because she can't ask for help. Where he goes up to her and he's like, hey, Miku.
How dare you try to sneak off by yourself to study alone?
Or no, he was like, yeah, how dare you dress up as Itsuki to get out of studying?
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, but I'm not. And he's like, nope, no excuses. I'm gonna give you an extra hard lesson right now. And they both realize that
it's a mutual lie
that
they're both in on.
We both know that you don't actually think this, but I can't ask for help, and you can't, sort of apologize correctly, so this is the way we're going to do it.
You, for whatever reason, have the most trouble apologizing to me specifically. And he helps her study.
And then they have another all-night session, and they're...
Ooh, an all-night sleepover.
And he wakes up, and they're late for the exam.
Yep. And they sprint there.
And Yotsuba, of course... She's fine. She's the athletic one. She's ahead of all of them.
Yep. She's on time.
And then Itsuki needs to stop for breakfast.
Because she can't function if she doesn't eat. She will die if she don't eat.
And then they get there, and they actually are late, and there's a teacher outside waiting.
And Itsuki also buys our main man, Futaro. She buys him a snack.
Yeah. And then he immediately goes back to being like, oh, yeah, I guess I'll pick something out. And, Nino's like, weren't you in a rush?
Yeah. Guys, we're rushing. Which even Nino is rushing at this point, so you know it's serious.
And then they all get there, and the guidance counselor or whatever is outside. And so they're like, man, we can't get in. He's like, wait, I got a plan. He's like, let me see your phone. He's like, Yotsuba, are you in school right now? No, that's good. Just stay there. And then he's like, what are we going to do? I call it Operation Doppelganger.
Ah, so good.
And they all wear Yotsuba's ribbon, and they run up to the guidance counselor, all pretending to be Yotsuba. And it works because they all look alike, even though they don't.
Yeah, even though they're drawn so that they don't look alike. They still all look alike, and they all do their best.
Imagine if this series had them all look actually identical.
Oh, God.
And we're like, all right, we have to figure this out.
I would have an even harder time figuring out everyone's names. Holy shit.
And then at the end, they're like, all right, we all made it in. What about Futaro? And then you look outside, and he's wearing the ribbon on his head, and he walks up to the teacher, like, Ohayo gozaimasu. And he's about trying to, walk past him. And immediately he gets grabbed. He's like, all right, you're screwing with me now.
Now you're late and you're screwing with me. You're in double trouble, mister. I'm bringing you to the pokey.
And he's getting dragged down the hall, and he's just like, go on without me. Believe in your own abilities.
Yeah, that doesn't go great.
They each pass and get 100 in one subject.
They do not get 100. They pass.
Yeah, they pass.
Bare minimum, they pass in their preferred subject, each of them. Which means that they each failed like 5 subjects.
Ichika is good at math. Nino is good at English. Nino is good at English. I burped on Nino because I don't care.
Nino gives you indigestion.
Nino gives me indigestion. Also, I'm drinking seltzer water.
Yeah.
And
Miku is good at history.
Miko's good at history. Yotsuba is good at Japanese, where I'm like, if she had to be good at one subject, it's her own language.
And even then, she got the lowest passing score out of everybody. She got a 30. That's like the bare minimum you need to pass.
Yeah, and Itsuki got a... Itsuki's good at science.
Yes, science. That's what it was. But that he gathers the quintuplets together.
And he kind of gives them a send-off after he realizes that they all failed in a lot of their other subjects, where he's like, hey, Miku. He's like... You're really starting to like come into your own and becoming good at studying. Just keep up on it.
I'll leave you to teach what you know to your sisters.
It's like, Nino, you didn't even listen to me until the very end. Good luck.
Good luck with that.
Yotsuba. Just
keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
I got
Itsuki,
nothing.
Holy shit, you are so stubborn. Like, come on.
Itsuki, you really got to move on. There were so many unanswered questions on your test.
Yeah. And as their dad calls, and he's like, so, how'd they do? And he's like, I think you need to find them a new tutor. And then immediately Nino takes the phone. She's like, hey, Dad, together we all managed to avoid failing all 5 subjects. And he's like, oh. And she's like, that's technically not a lie.
It is some verbal gymnastics, but it works. It keeps our main boy in there. He's still in the ring. And she's like, well, we can't do that again, so we'll just have to actually try a lot harder this time. Luckily, they have summer vacation coming up.
And Nino came around to him, it looks like, because she was the one that kind of helped them out.
She saved him. She saved the man who was trying against all odds. And kind of succeeded, I guess.
Yeah, she's bought him more time.
Yes. That's what he's going at this point. He's on borrowed time.
So
I can't make a segue from that statement to domestic girlfriends.
Our Japanese soap opera, because I realize this show is like a soap opera.
It is exactly a soap opera.
Yeah. Starts out with him and Hina hanging out, going around places.
They just have a brother-sister day and just hang out.
And then they go to the beach, and he gives her his manuscript for the novel he's writing, and he reveals that he based the main heroine off of her.
Because he loves her.
And he flat out tells her that.
Yep, just right there on the beach.
And she's like, hey, you want to date in secret? And he's like, huh? And then she basically takes his hand, and they walk into the ocean.
Yep, and he's like, hold on. Something seems amiss here. What are you doing? And she responds with, that's what we'd be doing if we dated in secret. We would basically be committing suicide. And I was like, it's a little extreme.
Yeah.
But your point and your dramatic use of metaphor is appreciated. And this doesn't really sit well with him. Because, of course not.
Yeah, and so he's all bummed about it for a bit. And then, yeah.
And then he gets a very odd night visit from his other sister.
Yeah, Rui comes in, and she's like, hey, I want to try practicing kissing. And him being the man of great decisions,
he goes along with it. He's like, yeah, all right, let's do it. I will give him this. At first, he's like, that is so weird. And even you were like the one that was like, this ain't happening no more. But then he gets the flash, whereas Hina's like, hey, if we did this, we'd be killing ourselves. And he's like, fuck that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And they do. And it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, man. This show is weird.
And
weird
then
moments.
And then they go back to school.
Yep.
Go back and do school stuff because they got exams.
Yeah. They talk about putting submitting writings to their literature club publication, and then the teacher says something that's oddly responsible and not weird at all.
Yeah, he actually shows up and says, "Hey guys, club stuff's important, but you should definitely be focusing on exams during the exam period."
And then he leaves.
I'm like, "But you're the weird, creepy teacher."
That's not what your archetype would do.
Yeah.
Stop being a responsible adult.
Is it because there's too many now, where it's like more people to rat on you for being weird?
I can't be weird in this club anymore. There's 4 people who could rat on me for it.
He's like, I can easily intimidate 1 or 2, but 4? They got the numbers now.
I'll need to say a couple of responsible things every now and again just to maintain my cover.
Just show up and be like, hey guys, do your homework. Stay in school.
That's basically what this felt like. It felt like he walked into the classroom and was like, oh, hey, you're doing the club stuff together. You should really focus on exams. All right, see ya. And then he just leaves.
Because he left right away, so it was like, oh man, can't make teenagers kiss. All right, I'm out.
Like, why did he even go into the library in the first place?
Yeah, he showed up and then left. I think he put a book or something on the shelf, or like he grabbed a book.
Oh, yeah. It was probably something like that.
I don't even think it's not the library. It's like just a club room. Like there's only like 2 bookshelves, because they showed them at the library at some parts where like, you know, they only like write notes to each other.
Because I almost said class president, because club president girl is very strict on her rules at the library, but they do talk in the club room.
Yeah, because they're the only ones there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't need to like.
Don't need to be quiet.
Yeah, you don't need
to.
You don't need a volume control in the club room.
That's a space for being rowdy boy.
Yeah. And then Rui and Natsuo need help with their exams, so they ask their sister, who is a teacher.
And she's like, this doesn't seem super ethical, but whatever. And she helps him study.
Yeah, which I'm like, why wouldn't that be ethical?
I wasn't sure, because unless she gets the answers beforehand, but like I don't think she would do.
Also, I don't think she would teach them well, if they make their own, the way their school system works, they would, I think, make their own section of like the test. Because if she's like the English teacher, she would obviously
she would make the English portion.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So I guess it's fine if she just works on the other subjects.
Well, she was giving him, I think it was more like she was just helping him, like, hey, Natsuno, you did real poor with this one section of grammar. You should work on that.
Yeah.
He was like, okay.
Work on, like, you know, some teachers are always like, hey, this might be on the test, but I don't know. Wink, wink, nod, nod, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, there was some nudding and some nudging, and that's it. And then nothing else.
Yeah, then they cut to the exams being over.
Yep, nothing. It's just, it happens.
Oh, and there's a part earlier we forgot to mention, where he finds out that guy that she was seeing before, Shu, turns out that was her teacher.
Oh, yes. When they're chit-chatting, she tells him the story of how she met Shu.
And turns out he's really weird shit with a sock puppet.
Dude loves puppets. He is a science teacher who just loves puppets.
Yeah, he shows up immediately and just like starts talking with the puppet.
He's a good ventriloquist.
Yeah, and I'm like, you were a high school teacher.
Yeah, these are young adults.
Yeah.
And you're teaching them with a sock puppet.
Yeah.
That was weird.
He's a weird guy.
Why
are the teachers in this show really weird?
All of the teachers are so weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. But all the teachers in this show are weird.
Yeah, especially yeah, the only examples we have are sock puppet guy that ended up cheating on his wife with one of his students. Art teacher who's just the weirdest guy.
Sandals man.
Yeah, Sandals man, and Hina's not in the best of places either.
No.
Yeah, at the end of this episode, Natsuo is still studying, and he decides to go, I think, ask her for help on a problem. And as he gets to her door, he hears something inside, and turns out she is in the process of having fun all by herself, is the best way I'll put it.
She's pleasuring herself.
And she's saying Shu's name.
And this It stuns our boy Wonder,
that he drops his notebook.
which immediately, bring. What was that noise?
And then he apparently is a master at moving without being heard, though. Where she walks into the hallway, and he's hiding on the stairs, and she walks by the stairs, and then he was able to move, I guess, further down the stairs.
Silently at the bottom of the stairs.
And then she decides, guess it was nothing.
I guess it was nothing.
And goes back.
The alert state is gone, and Natsuno, solid Natsuno, goes.
I keep saying Natsuno. I think it's Natsuo.
It's probably Natsuo. I don't speak Japanese.
We'll learn.
We'll learn throughout the process of watching anime.
Yeah, that's how people do it, right?
I mean, I feel like you could pick up a couple things.
You can pick up words, phrases.
It certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but it's not like, Anyway, we're not. This isn't a podcast where we teach you how to speak a language we don't know.
This is not a language podcast.
Yeah, that's all that happens on our Japanese soap opera this week.
Yeah, but now we get to our Japanese 80s movie.
Yeah, Magic Girl Spec Ops, where
they do a raid.
They take on the Russian mob.
Yeah, because the Russian mob is selling kidnapped Japanese people to the magic people in exchange for magical weapons.
Yeah, because that's how this world works. You trade people for or you just do illegal trading with the other world to get special teddy bear terrorist items.
Yeah, hey, you want this little teddy bear keychain? It turns into an unstoppable killing machine. We'll give it to you for like couple blokes. We'll give you a couple blokes for it.
Yeah. And they get sent to deal with that. And, yeah, Asuka, turns out, has major PTSD, which we already knew.
Yeah.
I like that scene where it shows, the flashback to their last fight and of the war. And she's just like, I'm done. She has that, 1,000-yard stare, I can't do this anymore. And the Spetsnaz girls is like, hey, just give us 1 more hour.
Yeah, all we need is 1 more hour.
And she's just like...
Because this is an 80s action movie.
She's like, 1 hour. And she's like, yeah, just pull it together for 1 hour. 1 hour. Okay. And she just slaps herself in the face. She's like, all right, guys, sorry, let's do this.
We need you to be a hero for 1 more hour. Because, of course, Spetsnaz Girl is the one who says that. And we also meet her this episode.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Also, there's a girl, a witch, who she's not a magic girl, but she has magic and magical items. She's like the Russian special forces dudes that they killed last time, where they can do magic, but they're not magic girls or magic boys or anything.
Yeah, and she is even more of a chump than those dudes.
Yeah, where immediately she gets her arm cut off by Asuka instantly, and she starts crying for her mom.
She's just shooting fireballs everywhere, and
yeah,
she kind of injures one member of M Squad. Also, we get introduced to the other members of M Squad.
Yeah, I forget all their names, but yeah.
I know one was a former airman, and he then did PMC illegal stuff, and he was like, oh, don't talk about that. And I was like, that's for a man who did dark shit, you're real jovial about it, aren't you?
Feel like they always are.
Yep.
And then after the leader of the Russians, after he sees their magic mercenary get beat the fuck out, he's like, fucking kid. And then he takes these pills that make him teleport, and then he vomits immediately after teleporting. He's like, well, that was worth the risk. Apparently, it has a 50-50 chance of just liquefying your insides.
Yeah, turns out magical drugs are not something you want to take on the regular.
And the place he teleports to has Spetsnaz Girl there.
Because of course it does.
And after she immediately cuts off his arm, he's like, shit, I got nothing to lose anymore. He takes out a dagger, stabs it into himself, and turns into a giant werewolf monster.
Yep, and he's like, I'm never gonna be human again. And I was like, yeah, because you're gonna fucking die.
I'm like, I don't think it matters, because you're fighting a professional magic. You're dead.
You're basically fighting a veteran of the last war one-on-one in an alleyway. You're fighting a flamethrower girl in an enclosed hallway.
Yeah, he was like, oh, all your moves are known to be, you need, a widespread area.
Which with a flamethrower is sure, it's very effective in a wide area, but you're in a hallway, man. You can't run from that shit.
Yeah, you can't even really dodge it. I think he just expected to, like, grush her, but...
That didn't work.
Yeah, and so she beats him anyway, and she's like...
She shoots a knife into his eye using an actual piece of Spetsnaz weaponry.
Yeah. I as soon as I saw that, I'm like, hey, that's an actual thing. I forget what it's called, but it's a thing.
It's basically a knife with a blade that can shoot out.
And after he's laying there dying, and she's like, who do you work for? And he's like, Battle Brigade.
Babel Brigade.
Yeah, Babel Brigade.
I work for the Babel Brigade.
And then he dies.
And I was like, of course he works for the fucking Babel Brigade. All the bad guys need to work for the Babel Brigade, otherwise we won't get the Babel Brigade girls together.
Yeah. It's not fun to say.
No, it's not.
Babel Brigade.
Babel Brigade.
Yeah, it's not good.
It has weird mouthfeel. So she toasts the shit out of this dude, but she doesn't kill him because she's like, he'll be good to have information for.
But he dies after saying, Babel Brigade.
Yeah, because the dagger in his chest blows up. Because Babel Brigade.
What happens at Babel Brigade stays at Babel Brigade.
It's that thing in movies where it's like, oh, this dude, he gave all the information that is useful to the plot. We'll just have him die.
Yeah.
And she takes his magical weapon that he's bought with all
Although
them people.
The M Squad now has Magic Mercenary Girl because they left her alive and she didn't explode.
Yeah, she didn't blow up. Even though she probably wanted to. She just has one less limb.
Yeah.
Which, if they really wanted to, Warner's could just fix.
Yeah, I think they are going to fix that because Asuka even said, she's like, Warner's, heal her.
Yeah,
and
don't
I'm like,
kill her.
The only thing to heal on her is just the arm, so I'm assuming they're putting that back on.
Don't worry, we'll sticky tape your arm back on. It'll be fine, just like new.
She has a magic boo-boo kiss. Heals all boo-boos.
We'll heal even the most serious boo-boos, because we're M Squad.
I just want to see, like, a serious, like, action series and someone to just call it Booboos. Like,
I got some Booboos!
Yeah. What's wrong? I'm hit! Booboos all over!
I got Booboos all over, Cap. I'm going down. I'm not making it home. The Booboos are too bad.
We got some serious Booboos. Listen, we're gonna need 40 kisses, stat!
Medic! We're gonna need 50 Band-Aids and 20 kisses, stat! He's got some serious boo-boos.
No, that's a movie I would pay to see.
You could put the Band-Aids over the boo-boos in my body, but you can't heal the boo-boos in my mind.
You can't kiss the boo-boos in my brain.
Oh, that would be so good. That is A+.
Instead, we're calling this Boo-Boo edition, not the What's on the Note edition.
What's a note? I don't know.
It's the Boo-Boos edition.
Boo-boos.
Galley Airforce. Phantom gets beat the fuck out by a human.
Because of course she does. Although, I will admit, Kay did some clever shit.
Kay's pretty cool.
K, that's what the K stands for in his name.
Cool.
Too cool for K school.
He's too cool for a C.
He is Mortal Kombat cool. Basically, they fight in the simulator, and Phantom's strategy is, I'll just overload Grippin with just shit, so she passes out, and then I'll win. Little does she know that Kay is like, I'll just reroute everything to my controls and cut out Grippin's controls, which also got rid of her weird bullshit Phantom jet simulation things.
Yeah, and then he blew her up in the simulator.
And she was like, well, you got me, Kay. That was pretty smart. I'll do things your way now. Cause
I'm going to join the harem.
Because that's how we work.
And then, he had to, best friend girl. Yeah, it sucks being best friend girl. She's just...
I feel bad. I feel real bad.
Because she has no idea what he's doing. She contacts him like, hey, you want me to come to the base and bring you lunch? And he's like, no, I'm kind of busy. I don't have time. And then immediately on the phone, she just hears, hugs. And Eagle shows up.
And he constantly just, like, ditches her to go to the base and do base shit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad.
Which, granted, if I could be the protagonist in, like, a series where it's like, hey, I get to fly planes, blow up aliens, and hang out with cute girls, I'm not gonna hang out at home.
I'm not gonna hang out at home with my best friend girl
who doesn't do crazy plane stuff.
She's not even a plane.
Yeah, she's not a plane. She's a human.
That's stupid.
And yeah, that's kind of all that really happens. The episode is the simulation, and then after they go to fight, and turns out they need to divert their forces because the U.S. fleet might be attacked. So they said,
yeah.
I like actually this part where Phantom gets Eagle to go do it, because she's like, hey, Eagle, Daddy said that he wants you to go do it, and he'll be super happy because he's like, you're the best and the strongest, and they wouldn't even see your attack coming.
Yep, and
Eagle's dumb, so...
It works 150,000%.
She's like, really? He said that? Okay, I'm gonna go do that right now.
And she does.
And then they fly off, and apparently there's a fuck ton of Z they gotta fight, and that's where it ends.
And new strategy for Team Grippin is we'll have Grippin run all the supplementary systems. You know, she'll run the targeting.
Basically, Grippin is the co-pilot.
Sensors.
And even though she's the main pilot, and Kay flies.
Yeah, because they can't do the maneuvers anyway.
Yeah.
Because Kay will turn into just a puddle.
Yeah, so they already had to go under a certain amount anyway. So you might as well just have him pilot anyway if he's a better pilot.
Yeah. And we'll get to see plenty of Fox Stew.
Fox 2.
Fox Stew.
Bobby 01.
Bobby 03. Cleared for takeoff. Actually, it's take off. Because whoever directed this show was like, we need those moments. We need to point out the moments in the script. Takeoff is one of those moments. Yeah, that's all that happened.
Yeah. Price of Smiles, Red Team still getting fucked.
Red Team gets fucked pretty hard. But Red Team has new information now.
Yeah, so this episode, Izana? I think it's Izana. Izana finds out that since he's kind of a useless prisoner, that they're probably going to take him back to the Empire capital and execute him.
And then Fleet comes in and is like, hey, we're going to take you back to the Empire and execute you if you don't give me information right now. And he's like,
I don't got anything.
Sorry, boss, I got nothing. So she's like, all right, well, we're going to take you back to the capital and execute you, so have fun.
Yeah, enjoy your last few days. And it turns out that the war is not over, that the kingdom's still fighting back with their whatever forces they have left, and they're doing a strategy of anytime they are losing ground, or anytime they can't win, they pull back, and if they can win, they defend their position.
There's some kind of cleverness to it, because it's like, we know they're going to attack this one food plant. We'll just fucking take all the food out and leave.
Yeah, so then...
And they take a worthless place.
Yeah, which is kind of smart, because you're making the Empire spread themselves thinner, where it's like, hey, we now have to defend a bunch of positions, but we have nothing there to, like, supply ourselves.
Oh, good. We get to defend this big empty building. Yay. Woo.
And, yeah. And then they end up finding out that there's going to be another Imperial attack on a place, and they decide to pull people out of there.
This was a tactical decision I took some issue with. They're like, all right, they're going to attack either this place or this place. And then they receive notice, all right, they're going to place 1. So the decision is we're going to move everyone from place 1 over to place 2. We're not going to pull them back to a different position. We're going to move them to the other possible target.
And turns out the Empire knew about this because they ask, hey, before they do, they go, the commander lady contacts Yuki and she's like, hey, I'm sorry I made fun of you last time. I can see you're actually still trying to hold out during this war. Do you want to surrender? And she's like, if I surrender, will you guarantee my people their safety and tell me about you find out about the old empire? I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it turns out there's a third empire in this world that was like, hey, we protest against the new creditors.
The MacGuffins.
Because we have mysterious research.
She's like, okay, I'll surrender if you tell me about the old empire. And she's like, I can do the first one, like guarantee your people's safety. Can't do the second. And she's like, well, I guess we got no deal.
Sorry.
And then she's like, okay, by the way. And then she just has her ships apparently just annihilate the civilian escape thing from the place 1 or place 2 or whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, they kill a lot of people with that.
they wiped the incident report for it is like everyone who was in this convoy is now dead. They have wiped everybody, and we get transmission from the twins who are like, hey, we could kill Fleet right now.
We literally know where the commander is. And then Harold's like, this is a great opportunity. And Yuki's like, no.
You will die. And they're like, but we'd gladly give our lives to punch the Empire in the nose.
And then Harold and Yuki actually have kind of a back and forth in the series. Like, you're being unreasonable. And she's like, this is the only way I know how to do things.
Yeah. And
I'm like, at this point, I'm like, hey, I feel like playing hard defense this entire time is not going to net you any victories.
It's not.
I feel like if a couple of troops are ready to sacrifice themselves for it, if you can take out the enemy commander, I think it might be worth it.
That one's kind of this one's a hard choice because it's like I could get rid of both of my known ace pilots that are out on the field in exchange for the enemy commander. That's some heavy shit right there. Because you gotta be like, all right, is the value of two of my best pilots as much as putting the enemy in disarray? How much on standby does the enemy have? Are they gonna send a freaking just another admiral out here in 2 days?
Again, but she wasn't thinking about it from that perspective. She was more thinking about it with, those are my friends.
Yeah, my friends will die. I can't have that. And I was, all right, that's fair, I guess.
Like, guys, you really gotta stop having Yuki call the shots. It's just not effective.
She is a 12-year-old
with no military experience up until this point.
And I don't care how much she's been studying tactics.
She's 12.
She is a 12-year-old girl
who has been studying it for. She just learned the war existed, so she's probably been what? It's like, I'm guessing maybe at best 6 months has been studying it.
It's not great.
This isn't good. None of this is good.
This is not. There's some tactical errors.
Oh, but Izana, he figures out, he does this badass scene where he knows he's going to be executed soon, and he's been going through baby names on his, on a piece of paper, and he's just kind of sitting in the room they're keeping him captive in, and he's like, hey, could I get your opinion to the guard?
I've narrowed it down to 2 names, but I need help. And the dude walks over, looks at the piece of paper, it's blank.
And then he looks, and then immediately pulls down the piece of paper and fist right to the face.
Yes. Izana's
this skinny dude with a ponytail can apparently deliver a pretty good knockout punch.
He is a badass. He knocks him out. He takes his gun because he, turns out, has been using the cameras in the facility to watch what Fleet has been doing at her desk.
And he learned about the old Empire, and he's like, what could they be talking about them about?
Research.
And so he sneaks out.
Second floor basement.
And there's this scene where I knew he was done, where he gets out, and there's a boat, where he could escape in the boat, but he chooses not to.
Yep.
He goes to the main facility and hacks into the computer.
He hacks into the mainframe.
And he reaches Yuki, and they're like, hey, it's Izana. And he's just like, I'm sending you all the information on the old Empire, and that's going to basically change the state of this war or whatever.
You got to look at this research, man. It's crazy.
And they're like, no, they're going to kill you. And he's like, yeah. He's like, he knows.
Yeah.
Because then they get into a big firefight, and a bunch of guys come in, and he gets shot, and now you know he's dying because he got shot.
There was a firefight.
And he's living long enough to sort of kind of get his last words out, and he tells them he wants them to name his baby Seal.
Based on the sky.
Yeah, not freedom. Seal as the animal, like C, like...
C-E-A-L. It's C...
I think it's C-E-I-L.
Fucked up. I was going to be like, no, it's not like S-E-A-L, like seal, but it is like C-I-E-L. But I fucked it up, and I mixed them. Because spelling is hard. Language is difficult.
That's why you don't know Japanese.
That's why I don't know Japanese.
But yeah.
He gets gunned down on they
on
watch.
Camera. Yeah, they watch him just basically just and as the guys get there, it's too late. He finished uploading everything.
Yep. So
and
hopefully next this was a red team episode, so we'll probably get a blue team episode.
I feel like we're running out of time. This was like episode 8.
I hope next episode they're just like, all right, here's the research. Here's what's going on. The way I kind of think this is going is...
Everyone will come together because the research. Because I'm pretty sure the research is going to show, hey, the MacGuffins kill the planet.
Yeah. This is real bad. Everyone will die.
Yeah,
so...
you'll wonder why you're having food shortages. The MacGuffin.
Yeah. This new energy source is literally draining the planet. So, stop. Stop that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Because even the commander lady of the Empire doesn't want to use the new MacGuffins.
Yeah, she is extremely hesitant. And
she's read the research.
And the Emperor is like...
Do it anyway.
Yeah, fuck it. Mass production. Produce so much of it. Produce more of it than we can handle. And I'm like, that's not a good decision. Because, A, you haven't... This is a man who's like, we have a dangerous new military technology. Fuck it. We'll just field test it. Whatever, it's fine. Whatever. No R&D. It probably works.
Yeah, this is a dangerous technology that went off like a nuclear bomb once.
And it's just... It's whatever. It's probably fine. If the Empire was using it, we can use it. Fuck it, right? We don't have to change. Why fix what ain't broken? But, my friend, this waffle maker makes pancakes. So, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what we say down home. If your waffle maker's making pancakes, you're in trouble.
Things aren't good for the kingdom, and hopefully that he sent them, I feel like they have to start getting some wins.
Yeah.
They need some wins.
I wonder if it's going to tell them how to, like, give them some BS, where it's like, here's how you can remotely shut it down. Here's how you can...
Yeah, that's actually probably going to be how it's going to go, where we're going to put all of these MacGuffins in our mechs, and then they figure out, oh, here's how you turn off the MacGuffin.
Oh, what if it's like, hey, here's how you can remotely detonate the MacGuffin, and then they have to argue about that for a couple
Yeah, because she's going to be
seasons.
like, no!
I don't
And Harold's
want
going to be like, we literally have a way to make our enemy blow up.
We could literally blow up the entire enemy army.
No, that's bad.
People will die.
And then at that point, I'd be like, okay. And I'd just pull up my gun. I'm like,
Sorry.
this is a coup.
I didn't want a coup.
And then I'm like, all right, guys, are you going to follow me, the military commander that you've been listening to this whole time, that has actually been, trying to win this war, or the 12-year-old that wants us to keep running away?
Hey, guys, do you want to listen to a literal child, or do you want to end this war instantaneously?
We have a button that makes our enemy blow up. Just blow themselves up. And she doesn't want to push that button because it's mean.
Because someone might get hurt in this war.
If I was on, like, the front lines and a soldier finding out, like, oh, they have an insta-win button and they're not pressing it, I guess I'll go out, and get shot at again.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. I'll just go back out to being shot at.
Yep, on a literal just...
Or stabbed by giant mech swords.
Yeah, and let's not forget, the Empire has kind of killed a fuck ton of civilians.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like... Yeah.
They're just going to kill more innocent people.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard to, evoke sympathy for them after this. Where it's like, we should come together with the Empire. Yeah, my family was on that caravan.
Yeah, you remember those 500,000 people that died in that one caravan? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm good.
But anyway, let's see what next week Stella's doing.
Yeah. A solid week in general.
Good anime.
Yeah. We got a bunch of good shit this season. This is a good season.
This has more good shit than last season. And last season was really good.
Although, I don't think anything is double-decker tier.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there were some special episodes for Double Decker we got to get around to watching and talking about.
I have already watched it.
I have not watched them yet because I'm waiting for all of them to be out because I think there's like 3 of them.
Yeah,
Unless all 3 are out.
From what I saw, I think it's just the first one at the moment.
I think it's 2 at this point. Anyway, when those are all done, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Because Double Decker is the first winner.
Double Decker deserves all the accolades.
And we got to find out who's going to be the next winner.
It's going to be hard, to be honest.
gonna be.
It's gonna be Girly Airforce.
Yeah, it's gonna be Girly Airforce.
We're gonna take that turn right at the end where it's like really emotionally deep, and it's like these are connections I didn't make during the show.
I'm gonna be crying, clapping. Planes are people too. Planes are people too.
We're gonna start a Facebook movement. Planes are people too.
Hashtag Planes are people too. Also, if you want to check out other hashtags, maybe find more at Protagonist Seat, our Twitter handle. I don't know, that was a bad segue, but whatever.
It was fine, it works. And if you would enjoyed this video, please feel free to like the video, and if you would like to see more videos like it, subscribe to our channel. It's where we put similar videos.
Yeah, maybe we'll just put them somewhere else.
We'll just put them in we will put them on a flash drive, and then we will put that flash drive
in the park.
In a Ziploc baggie. And then we'll geocache it.
So you get to be the only one who watches the episode if you find it.
You can
just upload it to your channel.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it at that point. I mean, you found it. Finders keepers. You found freaking Captain Handbar's treasure.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the captain...
Imagine we do that as like a promotional thing. We geocache our episodes on flash drives.
I mean, that would be an interesting way to garner publicity, I guess.
Just drive into the city and just like hide it in places.
I am an experienced geocacher, so I know how this works. We can do that. But if you take something, you got to leave something.
That's true.
So what you got to do is you got to take our flash drive home, find a friend, record your own episode together, and then leave that at the same spot on a flash drive. So that there's just a billion duplicates of this episode, but with different people.
Yeah. Do they copy us verbatim?
Yes. Everything is word for word exact.
All right, then we should stop this quick.
Yeah, otherwise it'll be too exhausting for them.
All right, see you next time.
Happy hunting, friends.